right. So, the next topic, we're going to touch on the Florida mass school shooting that happened. Just out of respect for all the victims and the people
17 lives that were lost.
Isn't that crazy, man? God damn, man. The school shooting? Like, I have a son who's in kindergarten, right? I would totally be fine if they implemented metal detectors at school. Why is that not a thing?
I think they do that now.
Why is that not a thing? They're talking about arming teachers. Put metal detectors in the school. Because what if you have a teacher who's having a bad day, who has some kind of psychoactive, problem going on that they just want to flip out and shoot somebody?
Don't let a black kid try to go up and then act out.
Right. They're talking smart and all this other shit. Yeah, you know.
I told you sit down, boy.
Like, you gonna write me up and pull your gun on me if I don't go to the bathroom? Fuck you.
I don't know, can you?
No. Give me that gun.
I see you raise your hand.
All right. Which was totally wild. There's a high school.
So it happened.
Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
How are you gonna afford guns to get the teacher if you can't pay them more?
I was saying, give them some money.
Yeah, give them some money. Maybe like
I think metal detectors in security should be something that is at least 2 armed guards.
Honestly, it's sad. It's sad that it's got to come down. We have to have that type of security in a middle school. Bevel Middle School.
But I would think that you would have to have that in any public place where you can gather
exactly.
hundreds of thousands of people at once.
The
mall.
Here's my problem.
But that's sad.
Why the fuck the mall cops carry around flashlights?
My problem though with security guards. My problem with like all these new regulations. These are all reactive.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be proactive, let's go with mental health. Let's go with more counseling. Let's go with like more.
It's the same. It's the same principle to his point of like 9/11. Like because of 9/11, unfortunate as it happened, to the people that died. Now we all have to take our shoes off at the airport. That's just it's just a reactive solution.
But
ever since then, it's just like we can't carry any liquids into the airport. It's like it's a reactive solution. Whereas going to the other problem, why don't we try to figure out what the problem was at the source? And they were like, oh, we got Osama bin Laden and we killed him. So. The incident already happens,
which is maybe why. I mean, maybe society is too big. It's maybe
know, man.
Maybe it's too hard to diagnose what's wrong with somebody before they commit a crime. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like,
so what's the result to that? What's the reaction?
I think it's because going to any kind of mental health, like rehabilitation service, or like going to see a counselor or a therapist, is seen negatively.
But here's the thing: like by coding all people with mental health as being potential violent killers, is not a proper way to approach
generalization,
right? Because that doesn't mean the person with ADHD or Tourette's or Down syndrome or schizophrenia are all potentially mass murderers.
Yeah,
you can't know that, right? When you have a person with narcissistic behavior, right? Like Trump. Imagine Trump. Like, do you think that person would automatically become a mass murderer? You can't say that, right? So what's so I don't know. To me, the reaction is, Jesus, is limiting guns to limiting mass killing weapons to people who have to everybody, right? You can't just have everybody be able to get a mass killing weapon. You can kill 50 people in a sweep.
Honestly, why in the world would you? That's
my reaction.
That type of gun, AKs, anything that spitfires like that, any rapid fire ammunition type like that, should only strictly be used for military purposes. They should not give that to any.
But if the general public, how people get guns or buy guns, people are going to make guns. Drug laws have been in place for hundreds of years, and they haven't stopped people from getting drugs.
Same thing like prohibition, also.
Yeah, people are going to get.
People found.
Somebody put it in this context.
That's the thing, though. If you look
how many people do you know who can make a assault rifle?
Right, they're big drug companies. They're alcohol companies. Look how much like the NRA is donating to like politicians and stuff.
Yes,
like that's why nothing's going to change.
Tobacco,
this guy gets $30,000.
I got into it with ads. I got into it with on Facebook, which I normally don't do. I was up till 4 a.m.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah, it's happening. I got one right now.
I was just commenting on a certain thing. They said that get rid of gun control. And I'm like, y'all don't understand. It is not just the fact of getting rid of gun. You can take a gun out of a person's hand, but my point was, you can take a gun out of a person's hand, but if that person already has in their mind or heart made up to want to go kill somebody or kill mass people, they're going to do it.
How though? we have to limit their ability to get those weapons.
Not even the fact that I'm saying no gun.
It could be like bombs.
I'm like saying you can make a bomb. You can make a bomb in the house.
If you take away guns, people are going to start. Knife deaths might go up like 100%.
Right, but how many people can you kill with a knife?
What's that?
How many people are going to kill with a knife?
You could still.
What about
3,
bombing?
4, 17?
So what about
17?
What about poison? I
mean, somebody's going to attack your ass. How much time? How much time would this guy?
Biological warfare could be another option. You know what I mean? If we can't,
so we're gonna allow them to have access to an easy killing machine as opposed to a more difficult killing machine.
I still think that's secondary. I still think we should tackle the issue of like mental health and like all this first.
You're not gonna get rid of folks killing for this.
No, you're not.
But the thing, my point is, people just stop focusing on the fact it's just guns. You can take guns out of people's hands, but you cannot take the willing to kill somebody out of somebody's heart.
I am not in favor of taking guns out of people's hands.
Nobody's saying taking guns out, but
restraints on being able to purchase a gun, maybe some kind of
stronger background
checks, psychological checks.
Better psychoanalysis with that. Maybe you have to go through a more rigorous procedure in order to obtain a weapon.
But I'm not a fan of taking.
I agree.
I'm not a fan of taking.
They were saying a white guy holding up a badge, making it easy. They said somehow easier. Look, he said some goofy dude on there with a badge, talking about like, look what I got. It's easy to get a concealed license or some stupid stuff like that.
Carry.
Yeah, something like that. Concealed carry. He was on there with some kind of guy, had to be a commercial, an infomercial, making it easy to get concealed licenses and things like that. They got stuff like that out there on media now. Talking about how to get them quicker and all this other kind of ridiculous stuff. Like I said, my point is, like all this, I can remember we didn't have this type of issue in school, not like this to this degree. Not at all.
Because for the longest,
even like the security, like security in an elementary school. Why in the world would you need a daggone metal detector?
Because incidents like this can happen.
I mean, like I
would feel better if my son, if I knew that they had to go through a metal detector and they had 2 armed security guards in his school, than not. You know what I mean?
Things like that require money. That's what it all boils down to.
Money, but also here's another approach. If you have an AK, if you have an AR, killing the people at the fucking security, the entrance is not a problem. You shoot them, you continue on, you shoot more. You continue on, you shoot more. Mm-hmm. They don't have, here's the thing, they don't have an agenda of getting out of there alive. Right? Like, when people do things like this, we're talking about, they're trying to take as many people as they can to make a name for themselves before they go down. They're not worried about making it out. So, it doesn't matter who they shoot.
Which is why eventually
they will shoot the people at the metal detector.
In this Parkland shooting, he made it out. He walked to, like, what is it, KFC or some shit like that.
Because the security guards were hiding outside.
But I heard that he went into the school, pulled the fire alarm, and waited till people ran out of class at this particular shooting, and then started shooting people. So he didn't need to go through a metal detector or be searched or anything like that. But see, I see the need for that.
I think this is a hard thing to tackle only because there's so many loopholes around it. There's so many ways you can do all this type of stuff. Internet, they show how many ways. There's more than one way to do or accomplish it. First, like I said, if a person has a mindset to go and make this attack, and there's nothing that in their mind is going to deter them from doing it, they're going to try to go through an extensive plan to make it happen.
I agree. But the thing is, you want to limit their resources to do such an attack.
Limit the resources? You can't do it.
You're not going to stop a person who wants to kill people.
I don't think limiting guns
but you will you can limit their resource to attack, to kill as many people. So we're talking about an assault rifle who blows limbs off of other people. Blows limbs off. These aren't bullet holes that go in and may go out the other side.
Non-automatic rifles to automatic. Right. You can convert that. You know what I mean? So making it illegal to have an automatic rifle is not going to deter automatic. I'm not saying
an automatic rifle. I'm talking about an assault rifle.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
An automatic rifle does not automatically equate to an assault rifle.
And an automatic rifle is an assault rifle. You shoot automatically.
And an assault rifle is an automatic rifle.
So you can
not all automatic rifles are assault rifles.
That's like somebody compares limiting guns to like limiting caffeine, right? Like if you told people tomorrow that caffeine is illegal, is outlawed, is banned, you'd have fucking riots in the street. You
but nobody's dying from caffeine.
You understand?
Nobody's dying in mass numbers from caffeine.
People are dying in mass numbers from gun shooting, but that boils down to the individual person. I can take a picture in front of a couch full of guns or a bed full of guns, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go out and shoot somebody. I have to have that mindset.
That's part of the problem.
Do that.
That's part of the problem because we can't tell. Nobody can tell. My thing is nobody can tell. If you have a crate of guns,
help deter.
Here's the thing: if you have a crate of guns, you might or you might not, right? But why would you have a crate of guns?
I can go mass kill people with a non-automatic weapon.
I'm not saying you should be arrested for having a crate of guns, but you should be strictly watched for having a crate of guns. Because why would you need a crate of guns?
I think
policemen have guns.
I think
firefighters have guns.
I think
mayors have guns. Politicians have guns.
I think what this boils down to is like, okay, so one of the things that happened is that the FBI was made aware of this about to happen and it was ignored.
Yeah, correct? That was a week. All right.
So that's also something another part of the story or another loophole, as you put it, that could have possibly mitigated or even prevented this from happening if they were made aware and they ignored the whole thing. Why not just actually act on it?
Because there was nothing to act on.
There was nothing to act on. There's nothing to act on if someone was buying so many different weapons.
How many weapons was he buying? Right, I think the alert was that this guy. Someone was saying this guy seems weird or crazy or dangerous. Right. Like this guy seems weird or crazy based on these comments on this social media platform.
Right.
That was the warning that the FBI got. How many warnings does the FBI get like that? I would say thousands. Because if you're looking at, like, I've observed YouTube pages and I've seen countless comments of people saying like ridiculous things. I've seen a lot, right? Yeah. And if the FBI, the FBI is spread thin as it is. Yeah. You can't investigate every single one in a reasonable amount of time, right? Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, if they would have tackled him off of that comment, they would have had to tackle 1,000 people yesterday. Based on that, because you can't know. Yeah. But what you can do is have parameters set up where people can't access weapons of war so easily. Because he was able to get a weapon of war.
But if you have it set up, to where they can't access it easily, they're going to access it the hard way.
Illegally,
it's going to be accessed regardless.
Then good. Make it illegal.
I think one point is that gun laws,
make it illegal.
When we restrict people like normal civilians, it just makes it harder for us to get guns. But for criminals or for those who are,
not worried about doing it the right way,
they're going to get it regardless.
But that's a weird position to take.
You know what you're going to do?
You're saying that every person who smokes marijuana is a criminal. So every person who smokes marijuana, a lot of them a lot of people are regular citizens.
You are a criminal if you don't smoke in a state where it's legal.
Yes. But you're also a regular citizen. So when you get your door kicked down and you get arrested and you put in jail for 5 years for having a blunt, does that seem fair?
I'd be pissed as hell. I was like, dog, all I was doing was smoking a J.
And who are you killing with this marijuana?
No one.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that yes, make it illegal. Make it so these people in these realms, make them actual criminals. If you're seeking a weapon that can kill mass people for whatever reason, I doubt you're hunting. If that's what you're hunting for, or if that's what you're looking for, why make it accessible easily? Make them have to work for it. If you got to work for a blunt, for a joint, make them have to work for an AK.
Yeah.
Make them have to work.
That's what you keep
saying an AK. You
have whatever
non-automatic rifles that can be converted to automatic. So if you limit automatic rifle sales, you can convert non-automatic rifles to automatic.
Before. A more rigorous background check.
Agreed.
Something that makes it super hard to obtain a weapon of war. Mm-hmm. Like something that makes it so that it would deter most people. Most normal civilians.
Right.
There's also been laws recently that have been passed, like in certain states where, if you have a charge of domestic violence, For
Yes.
example,
You
That's-
can't.
If you want an indicator of
For example.
mental health issues, it's
Domestic
that
violence.
domestic violence. If you're willing to hurt somebody who you love, who supposedly love in your family, then there's no stronger indicator
Or
in mental
domestic violence, assault charges,
Issues.
restraint. I don't know about restraining order, but that could be on a dangerous level too.
Right?
But like something that I think we're getting somewhere here with that. So like something that basically means that something that shows that you have a tendency for illegal action with domestic violence, then it'd be like, I don't think you should have a gun.
This might be the
Yeah, I
conspiracy
agree.
theory side of me coming out, but I think a lot of this is leading us to the point where
conspiracy.
I think a lot of this is leading us to the point where they want to have better and more accurate, straight up control on the individual person, right? So if you go to buy a gun yourself, they want to be able to tell exactly you particularly without any background check, maybe some kind of scan or something that they can really track your movements and monitor you by that. Okay, this person has a history of domestic violence and all this and that. Because this kid might have had a history of psychoactive kind of maybe taking prescription drugs or some kind of mental health history, but he was still able to get that automatic rifle. I don't know. I just think there's some kind of agenda here to where there's a certain purpose of why these things keep happening and why they keep pushing this gun control issue, because drug control has been an issue forever. They're not controlling drugs. Drugs are still here. I mean, prescription drugs, non-prescription, illegal, whatever it is, it's still here.
So that it'll be the same principle with completely eliminating weapons.
Right.
But imagine if they treated people who had AK or assault rifles. Imagine if they treated people who had assault rifles like they treated people who had
You wouldn't
blood.
like to own an assault rifle?
No.
If somebody
Imagine if they
gave you an
treated.
assault
Let
rifle,
me
I
ask.
was like,
Let
dude,
me
you can
let me
hold
ask my
this.
question. Imagine if they treated a person with an
Keep the
assault
shit out of that
rifle.
dog. He's like, oh, yeah,
Imagine if they
click.
treated a person with an assault rifle the same way they treated a person who had a blunt. Imagine they treated them the same way. Will you think people would be
Well, you
so
can't,
risky?
because
Do you think legal actors,
you
people
can't.
who are legal, who don't want to break the law,
You can't
will
because
be so
the NRA
active
has
in
such a
getting
big
such
influence,
weapons?
especially in our political arena.
You would
that
know automatically that this
there's
person's
no
out
way.
for some harm because they have an assault rifle, and you would
you
arrest
have
them
you have
for
people,
that reason.
You have people who are morally upstanding citizens who own assault rifles. You have
That's
firefighters who own
because
assault
they're
rifles.
that's
should
because
they be
they're
vilified
illegal.
like the person who has a blunt
That's
where it's
because
illegal
they're
to smoke
illegal.
that blunt? I don't know. It's a moral issue, but it's an issue.
Why, so the question is, why does a person have an assault rifle?
Why do they have one? It's why do they need one?
Or that one? Yes.
You know
do
why
they
I need one? Because forces who are outside of my control are able to have one. The same reason that they first initially put in the Constitution that you're able to bear arms to defend yourself. Because the people who are able to come and influence you in a negative or positive way by force have assault rifles. Okay? Do you really want to take guns out of the hands of the
How many
public
grenades
when
can
the
you get?
government has weapons that
How
are
many
of mass
grenades can you get?
destruction?
How many grenades can you get?
Just-
How many bazookas can you
if
get?
the police,
Because they
if-
have
if-
all of
if
those.
the police or the
RPGs.
military,
How many tanks do you? How many
if
tanks
the
can you
police or the
get?
military decide to
How
roll in
many
your
can you
neighborhood
get?
and start shooting up right now,
How many
what could
can
you
you
do
get?
about it?
How many?
We talk about being at the- we talk about being at the political
The same
whim.
amount of shit a person with an assault rifle can do if the
We
same
talk about
thing
being
happens.
at the political
Nothing.
whim of somebody in politics. That's why we need to go vote. You need to go vote so you can exercise your right to influence politics and our direction of this country. It's the same thing with guns.
Nobody's saying
It is the same
nobody's saying
exact thing.
take away
You
guns.
have to have force. Shit is done by force.
Nobody's saying take away guns.
History and the direction of the world has been decided by force.
I can be
and
pro-gun
you can't get around that.
and
Don't say take the guns out of
pro-gun
people's
regulation.
hands and everything will be okay.
You can do two
no,
things.
That's not it.
You can do two things. You can be pro-gun and pro-gun legislation. I am pro-gun. I think everybody should be able to have a rifle.
But just do it
I
the right
think you
way.
can have I think you can have a shotgun.
I think everybody should have a way to
I think you can
defend
have a
themselves.
shotgun. I think you can have a handgun. Right. You can have weapons. But an assault rifle is a weapon of war. And I don't think you people of normal citizens, if you're not in a war zone, you shouldn't have a weapon of war.
Number one and number one.
I mean,
That's just my position. That's my position.
if you're not
to me,
hunting,
it makes
if you're
no
not
sense.
hunting deer, you don't need a shotgun. But people
If
still
you're not
own
hunting
one.
deer,
I mean, why do you need
but
a
you
shotgun?
can have a
Like,
shotgun.
If
It's
by
not a
that
good
premise you're
idea.
saying that
It's
only
not a
the-
good idea to defend your house with a shotgun.
by that
'cause you
premise,
can
you're
shoot
saying
everybody.
that the only
Yeah.
weapon
But-
that should be available to the general public
you
is a
can.
handgun.
And also,
Because
how
that's all
many
you
people
need.
can you
Pow,
kill
pow,
with a
pow.
shotgun? in the school. Say that he went to the school.
Nigga, I can kill a lot of people with a buckshot shotgun. That shit spreads.
Right, yes.
If I go shoot a shotgun into a group of 10 people, 8 of them motherfuckers are going down.
Right. But how many can you shoot? In the amount of time before the police get there to stop you?
Depends, man. Some hold.
Like, how many can you shoot
16,
before? How many can you shoot before they start running away? And which ones are you going to chase? But if you have an assault rifle, like the one this guy had in Florida,
I don't think assault rifles
he could chase
are the
people
problem.
down. He could shoot down with the force of damn near
but
a
he
shotgun.
Could have committed the same
multiple times.
He could have committed the same type of school shooting with a regular assault handgun.
No, he could not have done the same thing with the handgun.
While those kids were running out of the building, he could not have done.
He could not have done the same amount of damage. It's factual.
Okay, it's fine. There's not as much damage.
You can't do the same
damage. I have
with
an
a
article
handgun.
pulled up here. He left 17 students dead and 14 wounded.
But that's with an
So
assault
that's with an assault rifle. He could have left that same amount dead and wounded with a handgun. When those kids are running out in a group,
with a handgun,
your gun holds maybe 14, maybe 17 a clip. If I'm unloading a 17 clip gun into a crowd of kids running out of a building,
decreased with a handgun.
I'm going to hit 10 of them.
Accuracy is greatly decreased with a handgun.
You're
not blowing limbs off.
If y'all are talking about the amount of ammunition that is held in an assault rifle, say that assault rifle held 30 rounds. He only killed 17 people and injured 14 more. He could have killed and injured a lot more if he would have had clips loaded up and ready to go. He could have killed 60, 70 people.
How many you think with a handgun the guy in Florida could have killed from shooting down from above with a handgun? How many you think?
Vegas?
In Vegas. How many you think?
That's
would have been 40 to 50 people?
Then you have to ask yourself, was there multiple shooters?
That's if.
You know what I mean? Now you're going into hypotheticals.
We're not going to hypotheticals. We have one reported shooter.
If this guy wanted to commit a mass murder, he could have done the same exact thing with the handgun.
For example,
it's harder to do with the bomb.
It's fine. It's harder to do, but that doesn't make it any less atrocious. What if he killed one person and injured 2 others? That still would have made it disgusting that he went in there and shot this one guy.
Terrible.
But there's no difference between one student and 17. There's no difference.
If you take away guns, though, for example, right, the 2 Columbine shooters, they found explosives rigged up. So they could have blown up half the school, but luckily they didn't go off though. So
so where's the regulations against bomb building?
There are regulations against bomb building.
I go to Home Depot and make a pipe bomb.
Like I said, you got the internet. That's the worst.
It's a tool, but they don't sell grenades.
It's a nuance.
Imagine what's the difference between a grenade and a pipe bomb?
They both explode.
They're both gonna fuck you up.
That's not the question. That's not what the similarity is. What's the difference?
One is harder to get.
What's the difference?
One you can make. One is harder to get.
And one comes ready with a greater blast radius and can do way more damage than a pipe bomb.
Make money.
The person in Boston had a fucking backpack with a compressor where you put shrapnel in. How many people did he kill with a bomb in a crowded area? He killed like 3 people.
That was on the street, and this was in the school. This was in a tightly knit school.
What was more tightly knit?
Listen,
that area where people were marching up and down the area?
A fucking town square in Boston or a high school?
I'm saying there's a significant difference. If he had 4 grenades, he'd have done way more damage.
Listen,
I'm saying you can't. There's not an equivalent.
As long as you can make money off of hand grenades and some automatic rifles, they will be on the streets. There's no regulation.
And if you get caught with it, you will be arrested.
There's no legislation that you can put in place that will control the flow of automatic guns. If people want them, they will get them.
If you get caught with it, you will be arrested.
It's the same thing with any other drug.
And
it's
if you get caught with it,
it's the same thing with hand grenades.
And if you get caught with it,
that's fine. You can get arrested with it now without those regulations in place, but they still have them. They still have them.
Drugs?
You can put those regulations in place,
and if you get caught with it, you'll be arrested.
Those weapons.
Imagine if they had the same structure for people with weapons of war. If you
weapons
call with
war,
it,
dog, I don't understand. They use handguns in war.
You understand?
They use shotguns in
war. They're doing it right now.
It doesn't make it a war weapon because it's automatic.
No,
that doesn't make it
a weapon of war when you can blow an arm off easily with one shot.
I can blow an arm off with a shotgun, dog. Do you know how much damage a shotgun can do?
All right, let's take them away too. I'm saying, what I'm saying is, you need to regulate the weapons, D.
I don't think regulation is the issue. I think it goes more deeper than that to what Jay was saying. You need to do psychoactive evaluation on these people before you allow them to buy the gun.
And then what?
Then you base your determination of whether you're going to sell them the gun
off
of that evaluation.
What are you looking for?
Whether they have a history of domestic violence, mental illness, violent assault,
illegal tendencies.
Even medication use.
Do they have a history of crime?
Medication.
You know what I mean? Like, and you would think
that as well.
You would think that all that is done in a criminal background check, but that's a criminal background check. We need a psychoactive background check.
What if at the end of this, right? Like you have all the background checks and everything. You pass everything, and even rigorous as it was. And you get gifted with an assault rifle. and you still go out and shoot up a school anyway.
Then what?
I think all of us would want an assault rifle if we could get one. If I came in here and said, "Hey man, I was feeling generous,"
but with that reasoning,
I was feeling generous, and I bought AR-15 for all. I think all of y'all would take.
But with that reasoning that you're saying that everyone should have an assault rifle.
If I came here with an AR-15 and said, "Hey, this is for you, man,"
but if everyone wants an assault rifle, then that means the odds of someone going to shoot up a school or causing harm to someone is greater.
So you gonna shoot me if I don't take it?
I mean, it might be, but
I'll take it if you don't shoot me.
I feel like if a guy has
rigorous test, though, right? We're gonna reduce the chances of these things happening.
They could still happen. Now I'm understanding they could still happen.
To me, it's a 50-50 shot regardless. It's a 50-50 shot in trying to regulate any of this. Because you're going to have, you're not going to be able to hit every time. You're going to have some nut that's going to go in there cloaked up. You know, so he'll be in there all nice and sweet getting on. And then one day, that's it.
His turn flips.
With this whole thing,
what's the difference between killing one versus killing like 5?
Right.
But how many have we had in the last couple of years?
You can't.
How many have we had in the last couple of years of these mass shootings?
Which is none of why are mass shootings so frequent?
What about
compared to where else?
Shootings in general.
Where else in the world is it this significant?
2 years ago.
Where else in the world is it this significant than America?
That's the control of information. Because I'm sure this happens in other places. We might just not hear about it.
Shootings. People die. The more guns are around, the more people die.
To his point, that is only the information that we are given, that we are fed.
I mean, I'm sure it happens in other countries. I'm sure it does.
We don't know for a fact if America is the largest by far.
There's no way you can tell me in China, a land of what, 2 billion people.
There is a closer country.
How many people live in China? I know they have school shooting there.
It's a war zone. The closest country is Syria. It's a war zone. So yes, there is a country close. They're literally in war, in a civil war. So yes, there is a country that's close.
Like over here in Syria, that's a whole other mindset of war.
But we are higher than them.
But that's the whole point. We're higher, but yet we still have to understand. They're over there. They're fighting for something else. We're not fighting for nothing.
So why are we dying?
We're not fighting for anything. My whole point is it's got to start with. You can take away the gun, whatever you want to, but it all starts back in the head. If you're not right in the head, you don't need no kind of weapon.
It all starts with the person.
I can stab you in the neck with my fork at lunch. That doesn't mean that they're going to start regulating fork sales.
You know what I mean? The rest of these people?
Well, I thought they have plastic forks now.
I mean, but I can fuck you up with a plastic fork too. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. That plastic is going to your eye.
Like, unless you John Wick, I mean, I'm just like, you know.
Use a credit card.
And I can survive a plastic fork to the neck.
All right, look, I have an article here that I was reading earlier in the week.
A MasterCard.
It's from the source.com.
I can survive a MasterCard, I imagine.
Not a Visa, though.
Maybe, not a Visa, though.
By author name. It's in a paper cut. What about just go around paper cutting everybody? They're gonna regulate paper sales? You know what I mean? If I just fucking, I'm the habitual paper cut.
How many children did you take from the parents when you do that? How many parents do you take from the parents when you do that?
That would just be really annoying.
Yeah, I'm like,
and I'm like, that fucking hurt.
You get your ass beat though. Like, but that's the thing. Like, that's not the equivalent, man. Like, people love making false equivalencies.
What about box cutters, though?
People love making false. People love making false equivalencies. Like, that's not equivalent. If you had a box cutter and you run around cutting people,
all right, that's not equivalent. But I don't think one.
Not the same.
I don't think one student with a handgun is not equivalent to 17 with the automatic rifle.
You think one student with a handgun is equivalent to one student?
I'm talking about if this guy had went in there and killed one student with a handgun versus 17 with an assault rifle. There's no difference. That's a terrorist act, and it's the same exact thing. So you're not making any point by saying it's an assault rifle. That's the problem.
Killing is killing.
It is a terrorist act. Yes.
Killing is
more people die. That's not equivalent.
He killed students at a school. That's
not equivalent.
If my son got killed by one guy with a handgun versus 17 kids with an assault rifle, that doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference. We're talking about the community.
We're talking about how many people lost their kids in this shooting.
Killing is killing.
Fine. It doesn't matter if it's 17 versus 5. I could have landed 5 good shots with a handgun, and it doesn't make any difference. 5 kids lost their lives.
Maybe. Because they might survive with the fucking handgun.
Whatever, dog. No, see, now you get into semantics and shit.
All right, fine.
You had a flesh wound.
Okay, fine. 5 kids died versus how many with an assault rifle?
All right, whatever, man. Like it's
fine.
It's a nuanced issue. It is nuanced.
He also has a point. He also has a point, though. A lot more people lost their lives because of the type of weapon.
Definitely, if I'm shooting
If you're running with a gun,
if I'm shooting
you're
20
running with
rounds
a knife,
per minute
and you're
versus
running
5,
with an assault rifle, and you're running with a car, you're gonna kill a different number of people each time.
so should they ban cars? What if he ran his car into a classroom and killed 20 students? Should they ban cars?
Charlottesville. I mean,
You know what I mean?
Y'all should
Like,
kill
it's
20 students running into a
nuanced,
classroom with a
dog.
car.
Because I can kill just as many people with a car as an assault rifle.
You drive into a school. I can.
You have to drive through the brick wall.
I can drive into that little window part.
Wait till recess. Wait till recess.
Look at Garfield. You can drive into the bus tunnel, and it's all glass right there. You can drive right through that glass, and it happens to be, kids out lunchtime, kids in the hallway. You can drive into that tunnel, drive through that door, because it's glass. It's all glass. It ain't brick. Drive through that glass, drive through the hallway, because it's wide enough for a car to get through. Drive through that hallway and take out a whole lot of kids.
Especially when school's getting out.
Not really. There's an opening right there by where the buses come in at.
And you can
drive right through there.
You can take it at a speed. You can take it at a speed that you can.
Take it at a speed. You can come out nice and calm. Like I said, it's all in the mindset. If you plan it out right,
If you're trying to kill people, I would rather have them try to kill people with the car than with an assault rifle. Because cars have other uses. You can drive to work. You can drive home. You can drive to work.
But I think it's also really ironic that cars are like the most dangerous ways to travel. Like by far.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Guns have other uses except for killing people. I mean, they
like hunting.
But
how many uses do an assault rifle have? How many people go hunting with an assault rifle? How many do you know?
I don't think assault rifles are mainly the problem.
How many people go hunting with assault rifles?
Gun control.
Here's a question though. My question is, how many people go hunting with assault rifles?
You can shoot 5 rabbits.
It's a matter.
An assault rifle might be a novelty item, but
good luck. Good luck with that shit. You probably can't hit one rabbit.
If you're going by that premise, I hate when people are like, how many people go hunting with an assault rifle? How many people go hunting in America in general? You don't go hunting, you go to the grocery store. So if you're by that premise, you don't need any gun. You don't need a bow and arrow. You don't need none of that shit.
You can say thousands of people go hunting in America. How many of those people who go hunting seriously go hunting with an assault rifle?
None of us go hunting for food.
I'm sure there's a number out there.
But none of us go hunting for food.
I'm not going to expect you to know the number. But I'm not going to expect you to know the number. But I'm going to say that I
don't think that's an equivalent exchange
I would say that it's way less than people who are serious hunters with regular rifles.
I hate when people be like, you don't need an assault rifle to go hunting.
Well, what's the answer?
We don't go hunting
anyway. And then we can see how ridiculous the question is. Find the answer. We can see how ridiculous the question is. If it's 98% of hunters use assault rifles, then
98% out of...
Then okay. I got nothing to say to that. But if it's 1% of hunters in America go hunting with an assault rifle, then we have a fucking discussion.
People own... This is
honestly, like I said, I think there's a regulation. I think there's got to be some kind of regulation as far as hunting. If we go on hunting, I think there is a specific type of weapon.
But then by that premise, you have to be going hunting to get a gun. And that's not why people get guns. They get guns to collect them. They get guns to just have them and own them.
When you're hunting, though, I really do believe there is a regulation as far as what weapon you use when you go hunting.
As far as hunting,
you can't use the elephant gun.
As far as hunting, but how many people buy guns?
You can't use the elephant gun. Go
I bought my gun. I wasn't planning on going hunting, but they sold me that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
But you're not a nut.
Yeah,
but you don't know.
As far as you know.
Exactly. You don't know that shit, see? You don't know.
Wait. Question, D. Did they run the background check on you?
Of course.
And you passed it?
Of course.
But it was just a criminal background
check. They ran a criminal background check. They didn't run no psychotherapy shit to see if I had any domestic violence.
I agree. They should. At the very least, they should definitely do a domestic violence or some kind of background check to see how you interact with your community.
I think it misdemeanors.
When they ran my background,
especially if they do the criminal background check and something comes up, like something specific comes up, like
I said,
hurting someone else.
Like
if it should be like, okay, red flag, you probably shouldn't have this gun, or we'll probably give you, I don't know.
I think the issue
we'll probably ask more questions or take us a little further. You know,
the issue comes down to capitalism. Like these people don't care if they selling you a gun. They can run a profit off of it. You know what I mean?
That's the problem with NRA, man.
That's a problem.
NRA gun manufacturing companies,
lobbyists, man.
You know,
that's a problem in this country.
Like y'all see, y'all saw the what's his name?
That's a problem in this country. Period.
Rubio's discussion with the with all the people at the town hall.
Which one?
It happened last week. Rubio was meeting at a town hall discussion where they had an NRA member, a representative of the NRA, and it was hosted by I think CNN or something. And he was just asking questions of the audience, and a lot of the students that came, which one thing we have to talk about is a lot of students now from that school are saying like they're traveling, they're trying to make their voice heard that look, this is not fair for for regular people. But back to the topic, he was answering questions, and one of the questions he was saying was, or the response to his question was, look, we can't regulate all assault rifles because sometimes there's small differences between what can be considered an assault rifle and what can be considered a regular gun.
How many bullets per minute?
Right, all that thing. And then he was like, we would have to ban all of these. And then the fucking crowd went wild. And I was like, yes! And he was like,
no.
Think about it. Think about
shit.
it.
Oh, shit.
Are you really in favor of not being able to buy a gun
nobody's saying not buying a gun. Nobody's saying not buying a gun, dude.
Are you really in favor of taking arms away from yourself? That is the reason why they inserted it into the Constitution.
How many people have bazookas?
Maybe they can make.
How many people have rocket launchers?
Maybe they can make an amendment.
There's a limit.
That's where it comes down to capitalism and turning a profit. You can buy whatever you want as long as somebody can make a profit off of it. So I can buy a bazooka. I can buy an assault rifle.
You can't buy a bazooka.
That's fine, but I'm talking about gun control is not just limited to assault rifles. They are talking about gun control, like.
No, they're talking about
strict
gun
limitations
control.
on owning
guns.
The
assault rifle ban is limited to assault rifles. The gun control is limited to your fucking mental health. How are we going to evaluate people?
You know, there's a guy on my job
whether or not they can have a gun.
There's a guy on my job who offered to build me a gun. He said if I go get all the parts that he specifies for me, he can build me a gun. It wasn't automatic, but he said he can build me a fucking rifle. So people can build that shit. It doesn't matter if you give me a gun that's not automatic. I can convert that shit to automatic.
Hey, guess what? If that shit was illegal, if that gun was fucking illegal, then if you got caught with it, you'd be arrested.
Weed is illegal in Virginia, and you're going to be arrested, but that don't stop people from smoking it.
No,
so it's not going to stop people from owning automatic weapons.
All right, let me make the point here. It makes your fucking life harder if you get arrested. Right?
Right.
Can we agree to that shit?
Yep.
All right, so when you fucking let me finish.
I never got arrested for weed.
Let me finish. So when you fucking get arrested, how many people want to get arrested?
No one.
Right. Agreed. Let me to the final conclusion of this. So people who just want to have a fucking gun for fun, do you think they're gonna risk it?
But you're
just to have one, or do you think they're only gonna have it if they're looking to do something?
By that premise, you're saying that everybody who owns a illegal gun has been arrested. There's people who own illegal guns who've never had any run-ins with the law.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
I
agree. You're right. You're right. I'm not saying. I'm not.
How are you going to discern?
Where did I say this was 100? Where did I say this was 100% solution? I didn't say that. I'm saying you're closing the fucking gates.
My conspiracy theory.
You're closing you're making the fucking fence smaller for people who get caught with these illegal weapons will get in trouble.
My conspiracy
and they won't want that.
Wants to say
people
that they
who don't want to get in trouble
won't electronically monitor people to
people who don't want to do bad things won't make the risk.
I think this thing is leading towards something. Why are there so many mass shootings down, man? Like Vegas just happened, a couple months ago, 2 months ago.
Just got 2 months.
What the fuck is up with all these mass shootings? Like,
it must be the mental health. We must be getting way more mentally unhealthy.
I was gonna say that we were in the mall yesterday. I mean, there could be somebody who comes in here and decides to spray the mall down. What are we gonna do about it?
Nothing.
I'm skating.
Would you feel more comfortable if the Good Samaritan had an assault rifle if somebody came in the mall and started shooting up the food court?
No.
I wouldn't feel good no way.
So the Good Samaritan shot the guy who was shooting up the mall to save your life. You wouldn't feel good about that?
No. Because who the fuck else are you going to shoot?
What do you mean? He's the Good Samaritan. He wasn't shooting anybody. He was sitting there eating.
All right, tell me
when the guy came in and shot somebody.
Tell me, what are his credentials?
What do you mean credentials?
The guy came in the food
court and started shooting somebody.
So you're saying because he had a gun, he's the good guy?
Because he shot the person who was shooting everybody who was sitting there eating.
Say police come.
They said that there was They said that there was a gym teacher who got shot in Florida, right?
Say the police come.
Who shielded the other kids from getting shot.
Right.
Yeah,
now say that guy had a gun and shot back at that guy. Would he be vilified for having a gun?
It depends.
What do you mean it depends? He saved people's lives.
Because what if he didn't shoot the guy and he just got shot? What if he just got shot again? What if he just got shot and the guy had 2 guns now? Then what?
No.
No.
It didn't work out right here. I guess it didn't work out. Whatever.
That's a big ass
what if. You're saying that if he came in disarmed the other guy who had the gun.
You're talking about a big ass what if.
Broke his arm and disarmed him.
We talking about
that's what we're talking about. This whole conversation is what if.
Big ass hypothetical, D.
This whole conversation is what if. What if they banned assault rifles? Well, it's not going to stop people from getting assault rifles.
No, it won't.
But it's going to make it harder to get it.
It'll help.
But it's not going to stop.
That's all we want.
They banned weed.
You're making my point.
You're on the side of legalization of marijuana, correct?
Yes, because it's not dangerous.
Guess what? Marijuana was illegal in most states.
It can be.
And people still get that shit.
If you overindulge in something, it will be dangerous. Anything.
Marijuana?
Yes,
Marijuana
it can be.
Marijuana can be dangerous.
It can be if you're
too intoxicated.
Something. If you are too intoxicated,
there are some strains of weed out there that will make you so
this
high.
This is way more dangerous than marijuana. This is legal.
True that.
It can, but like either way,
wine is way more dangerous than marijuana.
I said if you
if you overindulge in cookies, you gonna die from diabetes, nigga. Like I'm saying, like what you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
I would say any level of intoxication can lead to you endangering other people's lives. Any level of intoxication, marijuana.
You know what would be great
alcohol,
if you weren't on alcohol and you didn't have access to an assault rifle. That would be amazing, and I feel like a lot less people might.
I think assault rifle is the overlooked issue here because I don't think assault rifles matter. Like he could have shot one student versus 17.
Except the last major shootings happened with assault rifles.
Yep. You know why? Because they want to make the most.
It's not a
coincidence that they can.
It wasn't like, man, should I take this assault rifle or should I take this handgun?
So are you saying that it would have been any less?
Rifle.
Are you saying that it would have been any less of a tragedy if he would have shot one student in the head versus 17?
That is no less.
Is that less of a tragedy?
That is no less of a tragedy.
It's no less of a tragedy. So assault rifles don't matter in the end.
But statistically,
it doesn't matter if he had a handgun, a knife, a fucking assault rifle. It's a fucking tragedy.
But you know what sucks?
That's what the problem is.
Statistically, though, because more people would have died. More people were harmed.
Fine, he could have ran into the school with a car and injured 5 people. It doesn't matter.
If it comes down to 12 people,
it comes down
like
to
the odds of them being one of your children is way less than if it was 27.
No, that doesn't even count because more
the
percentage of people's kids were not affected by the school shooting than people that were.
The what?
There was more percentage of people's kids at that school that were not affected by the shooting than people that were. Only 17 kids died. 14 were injured. There's probably 800 kids go to that country. There's probably 800 kids that go to that school, so 800 parents are like,
people in the country, D.
I'm glad you didn't get shot. That doesn't matter.
So their lives don't matter as nearly as much as those people who survived.
Not when it comes to an assault rifle. That doesn't matter.
So I guess more lives to the ultra big NRA to these gun companies is fine because I guess some niggas gotta die anyway. I guess some people gotta die anyway, man.
Both sides of this thing.
I guess some people gotta die anyway.
I look at it like this: assault rifle or handgun. Both have.
I've had juice, man.
That shit's fucked up. Some niggas gotta die anyway.
3 glasses of wine. We should have 4. I'll fuck around and drink another glass of wine. You want to keep this shit going, dog? Fuck this shit. I didn't drive. Nah, you drove.
She said I didn't drive. You drove.
Look, assault rifle, and to me, I learned to look at every aspect of every situation. Assault rifle, handgun, or not. They despite of how many lives it takes. Assault rifle, multiple rounds, you get more killings. Handgun, depending on how bad you are with it, you can take out because, like I said, it is an automatic weapon. You can pull the trigger. Depends on how many you kill. Either way, assault rifle, handgun, hell, bow and arrow, anything.
I'm with you.
Put a regulation on that. Do a tight knit background on it because either way. It will kill anybody.
I don't like the assault rifle
regulations
angle.
on cars.
But
there was a story.
Everybody gotta have a car. I mean, unless you're gonna walk from here to DC.
There was a story. There was a story in an article I read about a student that heard her teacher get shot right at the door of at the entrance to the classroom. Right, they were hiding behind the teacher's desk. They heard the teacher go to the door, right? They heard the guy shoot the gun and the teacher on the ground moaning, and they were too scared to move to go out there and look at the teacher. And you know what I mean? The teacher just got shot in the doorway to the classroom. Is that any less of a tragedy or less dangerous, him shooting that one teacher versus him shooting 16 other students? I don't think so. If he walked up and shot that one teacher and ran out of the school, that is no less of a tragedy. That's still traumatic. It's still dangerous.
It's a tragedy. It's still a criminal act. It's still terrorism. It's still a school shooting.
So I think
but would you rather have 17 people die or 6 people
die? Now, how do you weigh the cost of human life? I heard that in the movie.
Would you rather... No, here's the question. The question is, would you, personally, rather have 17 people die or 12 people? We're not telling you
the obvious answer is until it's your kid or your family, until you're affected by it.
We're just talking about random people. People you don't know.
That one student versus
people
the
you
17,
don't know.
That one family that's affected by that one student
but people
is not
who
going to want to hear that shit.
People you don't know. You'll never meet. But people who do have families... Because I don't know who do have families, 17 or 6. Pick.
Come on, man.
Does it matter?
The answer is
obvious. Does it matter?
But you
Does
can't
it
weigh
matter?
the cost
The
of
question
human
is,
life.
D, does
What if those
question is,
6
does
people
it
were related
matter?
to you?
The weight of the crime.
What if
The
the
question-
17 people weren't related to you, but the 6 people were?
My question is, does
there's no
it matter?
less.
My question is, does it matter?
It does matter.
All
What do
right,
you mean?
that's what I'm fucking saying, man.
It does matter. But at the same
Have
time,
another
it's
drink,
not
you win.
less than. It's not, hey,
You fucking win, nigga. You get another goddamn drink.
I'm just saying.
Wait, yo,
You
yeah,
drive it,
like I
man.
said,
You
it's
drive
like,
it. You get a
come
little
on,
bit.
man.
I'm
It's
just
like,
saying.
like you said earlier when we were talking about the Black Panther, it's the weight of the crown, man. You can't. That's the decision you cannot make. The right way.
And
Life
this
is life. Period. It's going to be lost.
This is
It's
also
life.
this is also
Until
something.
it-
It's just life until it's yours.
There's also something
either
that
way,
we're
whether
not
it's
gonna
mine,
solve.
whether it's
Huh?
mine or not. Either way, life lost. Period. Whether
Sucks.
it's mine or somebody else.
It's terrible.
It's terrible, but you cannot. There's no right decision. There's no real intricate way to put a cap on this.
Yeah,
Especially
You
at a
can't.
school.
There's
You
no
can't.
there's no
You can't. 'Cause
right
there's too many.
answer.
Yeah, there's too many
to
big.
this.
There's too many
There's
big
too many
reasons making
variables.
decisions.
And
Like
this
you could see the side of taking away guns
Oh,
entirely. You
yeah,
could see
good point.
the side of limiting guns. You could see the
I
side
can
of
see the assault rifle issue. I can
No,
see it,
no, he didn't.
but
But then-
I don't
but
think
then-
it's just going to matter in the
But I
end.
mean, at the same time, I think like
I'm not doing
going
it.
like the assault rifle angle versus the
taking it.
handgun. I think like even bad as it is to say, but like that's semantics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
It's good shit.
Weapon
Man,
is a
you are
weapon.
driving, man. Easy, man. It's your third class.
I'm good.
I'm just saying a weapon is
There's
a
gonna be
weapon.
17 people out there. Yeah.
All right, it's gonna be 19. Me and the motherfucking Chris in the car. So.
I'm just what
That's not funny. I'm sorry. That's not funny.
I'm saying. What I was saying before is that a weapon is a weapon, and if you take the weapon away, then we're just gonna find a way to. We're just gonna find another way
Mm-hmm.
to do the same damage, if not worse.
I think so, man. I still think the most craziest one I heard of was that Sandy Hook Jones, man. Like, this guy ran up in there and shot elementary school
It's
kids, man.
elementary
It's like,
school. That's even
Jesus
worse.
What
Christ,
gun did he
man.
use?
Didn't he use it?
Yeah, I think did he use an assault rifle? I'm not sure.
Rifle in there.
I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter what he used, whether he shot 17 or 4.
Yeah.
It's still fucking tragic. He
And
went
the
in there and
fact
shot
it's an
kids.
elementary. It's an elementary school. We're talking about kids.
God damn, man. That shit was crazy.
Third grade.
I disagree. I don't think it's equivalent, man.
I think, and again, I think it's all semantics, like what type of weapon was used or how many people died. Like it still is what it is.
So if it's this hard for us-
This guy bought an assault rifle legally at 18
It
on
still
the
is
day.
what it is, and it's
On
still
the day.
fucked up.
on the day.
That's all fair in the realm of capitalism.
Right. But here's the thing: he passed the background check. Like,
There you
he
go.
was a troubled guy in school. Everybody
So
knew.
should they have a more
Everybody
extensive
knew.
background check, or should
Question.
they limit
Let me
automatic
finish
gun
my
sales?
statement. So everybody knew he was a troubled person in school. That shit didn't make it around to the fucking.
So if I'm an upstanding
let me
citizen,
finish my statement. So everybody knew he was a troubled person in school, and he made it all the way around to the place where they were doing his background check, and that shit didn't register. But he bought an assault rifle, and he held it for a while. He had it for a while. He didn't go immediately and shoot.
So
it.
are you
he
saying
had
they
it for a
need
while.
to do?
And at what point did his mind change? From when? At what point did his mind change from when he bought the assault rifle initially to when he decided to go shoot up the school? That it was okay, but like, well, I have it now, but so maybe I'll use it now to go shoot up the school. At what point does your mind change?
He might have
right?
initially always
Assault,
bought that
like,
gun with the
mental
intent to do that.
That
instability.
was the intent.
Right.
Mental instability is not a universal. It doesn't coat your entire existence, right?
It doesn't.
Some shit can change you. There's stressors. I watch
yeah,
enough.
right, yeah.
I watch enough Criminal Minds to know that there's
Yeah.
stressors in a
Yeah.
person's life.
Criminal
You know what I'm saying? There are stressors in a
Snap.
person's life,
Mhm.
right? That will trigger a homicidal episode, and that person will go out. And at what point do you want that person to have 10 knives, two handguns, or 4 assault rifles?
So me-
at what point, like, do you decide which one you would rather have? That person who met that stressor, who was stable before but not stable now,
So
to
me,
have access to that weapon.
and this is, I'm sure,
To
with
which
the
weapon,
NRA,
I'm asking
who
the
has a
question.
powerful political foothold in this country, unfortunately,
I'm with you, but
is going to say, so me as the upstanding citizen who's never had a criminal record, who's never gotten in trouble with the law, who does not have a history of domestic or social violence, right? I own a gun. I have it just to collect it and to have it to shoot. So I should not be able to go purchase a gun that I can use in defense of myself or my family or my home or my land or my country or whatever else.
my official answer
Because of
is
somebody
yes,
who's
you
crazy?
can, but not an assault rifle.
So are you saying that they should? Why not? Their assault rifles are legal to sell. They're legal to sell in the United States.
Because
You know what? You
assault
know what?
rifles were used in the last.
You know what people who are going to
5
say?
mass killings.
You know what assault rifle manufacturers are going
reason.
to have the most to say? Well, what? I mean, we sold it to a guy. 90% of the sales we make, nobody commits a terrible crime off of that. So what? It's just 10% of the people that are fucked up.
10% is how many human lives.
It's not our fault. We just produce the guns. They use the guns.
10% of what?
Somebody took a meme and they took a picture of a fucking.
If you have a billion people, what's 10% of a billion people?
They had their guns pointed at the guns on the bed.
How many lives?
It was like I'm just waiting for these guns to do some dangerous shit. The guns don't do dangerous shit. The people holding the guns do dangerous shit.
Right.
So that's what the NRA is going to say. So I should not be able to not buy a gun I want because somebody else decided to get one and do some crazy shit. That's that person's fault. That's not the gun's fault.
The whole people kill people, guns don't kill people is bullshit.
It's not bullshit, dude.
It is absolute bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
It's absolute bullshit. Guns have gone off before and killed people.
You have police officers who own guns who have never committed any crimes.
So a 2-year-old who's actually killed his parent with a gun.
That's the parents' fault. That's the parents' fault.
No, that's the baby's fault. Sorry, that's the baby's fault.
What are you talking about?
No, because the baby was holding the gun, man.
The baby was
holding the gun. The baby was a murderer. He's predisposed to homicide.
You don't have a safe? You can't keep the gun up high where the baby can't
reach? To homicide, man.
I'm gonna
my gun is in a goddamn lockbox.
The parents didn't leave. The parents didn't leave the gun out for the child. It's the parents' fault.
Where's the safety, yo?
Yeah, the parents didn't leave the gun out for the child. The child wouldn't have gotten access to the gun and shot and killed.
I have a gun lock, so the slide goes back, the lock goes through that gun, and then I also have the gun inside a locked box.
The parents had no business leaving that gun accessible to the child whatsoever.
So even if you get my gun out the box, you still can't get it out the box.
So that's the parents killing themselves.
Basically,
I'm about to say that.
They did it to themselves.
So if that baby had a knife, what's the difference?
Why is the baby getting access to all
Why are you killing babies?
No, I'm not killing babies. I'm killing the parents. But here's what I'm saying, right? So if the baby had access to a knife,
why does the baby have access to the knife or the gun? That's the thing.
So would the baby kill the parent with the knife?
What age are we talking
about? How the 2-year-old gonna plunge a knife into the parent's face?
That's my goddamn point.
No, man. That baby into my sternum.
It's not gonna happen. If the baby had a shovel, right? If the baby
is not smashing my head open with a shovel, dog.
My goddamn point.
You better put that goddamn shovel down.
Damn point. So if the baby had a car,
with the baby,
if the baby had a car, what's the odds? What's the odds? No, listen, it's happened before. A parent has died because the baby got in the steering wheel and ran them over. That shit has happened before. Right? But here's the thing.
That's like a parent leaving a baby in a hot car.
Right. Well, here's the thing. But if the baby had a goddamn baseball bat, would the baby have killed the parent?
That baby is not going to be able to swing that baseball bat with enough velocity and momentum to crack my skull open, dog.
This is not
maybe a mild concussion.
No.
Maybe a mild concussion, but not a cracked open skull.
So your only point that you have is because it's a baby. No, it's because it's a baby. That's literally the point that you're making right now. It's because it's a baby that's doing all of these things. We're talking about grown people that are cognizant of what is going on and how to use those different weapons and those different tools to kill people.
Like a 13-year-old, I can pull this trigger and something will come out the other end and it'll kill somebody.
Either or. It doesn't matter.
Either or. And I agree it doesn't
matter. The
matter.
ability to kill should be limited.
I agree it doesn't matter.
And people will kill with intent, but you shouldn't be able to kill with accident. Guns make it possible
but you
to
can kill people with anything. Though you can smother them with pillows.
I can kill.
How many babies are pillows?
I can kill Jay with this freaking curtain rod if I wanted to.
How many babies?
You know what? He definitely was looking at that curtain string and wrap that shit around his neck.
Like, yeah, that's a good size.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, weapons, guns make things easy to kill people. That's my point.
Yeah, but
you can't say it's equivalent to saying that the gun itself is not a dangerous item. It's absolutely incredibly dangerous.
Of course it's dangerous.
And it's killed people.
So is a butter knife.
And it's killed people.
So is a steak knife.
And it's killed people in the hands of something as innocent as a child.
Yeah.
It's killed. So that's what I'm saying is that the gun is a tool for death.
I can kill you with my teacup.
The gun is a tool for death. Only death. And it's designed
Steve was holding the door. I can kill you with
this. The gun is a tool for death. Why is that so strange to grasp? Like, if this was anything else, you guys would be with me, but we're so fucking brainwashed. You guys think this shit is fucking gymnastics.
It's not.
Hey, stop it. Hey, Juice, slow down on that sangria, okay?
I have
Juice
one
is
set.
edging towards that, Joe, man. Juice tried to bait me into a fight last time. I was like, nah, Juice, I ain't gonna let you bait me.
What did I say?
We was arguing about Star Wars.
No,
don't get into it.
Don't get into
Juice
it.
was like Ray is awesome. Juice said Ray is awesome and she deserves everything that she got in that movie.
I did not say that shit. I don't know what the fuck you started. This nigga D making up shit.
Don't get into it. This is what he wants.
But not the whole thing is, like I said,
he making up shit. He making up shit, man.
But not killing. Like I said, it needs no form. It can kill anybody.
I'm also gonna agree with you. That the gun is designed for only destruction.
Like it is.
Of course, it only does.
So
it doesn't matter who has it.
But
it's just like any other weapon.
No, a knife is a weapon, but a knife is also designed for other things.
Yeah, but a bow and arrow is designed for
hunting and killing.
A gun is designed for hunting and killing too.
Indians used it.
I mean,
they're both weapons of death. Like, what are you talking
about?
Any
weapon is a weapon of death. It's meant to kill.
But guns
tools can be used as weapons.
A fucking sling,
not souls.
Anything
sling. You ever seen somebody use a sling?
Anything can be used as a weapon.
That should have hit hard as hell.
Sling is a weapon of death.
But guns specifically are meant for killing and death. Guns specifically, that's literally their only purpose. I agree with that.
I'm talking about one of them old school slings that you swing and you seen a dude throw that shit, man. That shit hits with like a 200-mile-an-hour velocity or some shit.
Weapons
that's crazy.
Designed for killing.
I think I seen somebody like hitting somebody with watermelon
or animals.
It's like old school guns before gunpowder.
So back in the day, like they used guns to hunt food. I mean, you had to way to live. You had to hunt food.
Right.
They weren't necessarily used for killing people. They were used for means of living
and killing people.
But here's the difference, right?
Not until later.
How many weapons to defend yourself?
How many weapons do you need to take down food? Like, what kind of weapon do you need?
Depending on what you're eating.
It depends on what age you live in.
Yeah, and what age you live in, right?
If you like,
so do you need an assault rifle to take down?
Why are we back with the assault rifle? Jay, he's trying to bait me, Jay.
You don't
trying to bait me.
You don't need Look, you don't need an assault rifle to take down food.
Right.
But you know what? You know what? You know what though? To that point, an assault rifle way easier, way more effective. To take down your food.
Yeah. But then
like one shot versus 15 to spray down a buck.
I'm not a hunter. I don't know.
I'm not a hunter either. But I mean, statistically, if you look at the power, and the speed, maybe not the accuracy, because accuracy is like worse. But dealing with people shoots more bullets.
Yeah.
I have a better chance of taking down an animal with multiple rounds than one or two.
But
unless you're a good hunter.
Unless you're a really good shot.
Unless you're a good hunter.
Unless you're a hunter, because no hunters use automatic rifles.
Dealing with people that have hunted. And I know folks who actually hunt. Who hunt? You know what I'm saying?
With,
like I said, they use like
they use like the fucking
bow and arrows.
They some
use climb up in a tree with a bowie knife.
some use bow and arrows.
A lot of hunters use the bolt action.
Like some use
they don't use the automatic rifle.
It depends. Depends on what you're hunting. You can use a bow and arrow. You can use a bolt action rifle. Depends. Like I said, assault rifle. Not necessarily. You can use a bolt action single rifle, a sniper rifle. You can if you know how to use it. Like I said, if you're hunting, like I said, we're talking about volume here. It depends on what you're hunting or what you're eating. If you want to hunt a bear, a handgun, I don't know. A bear, you're talking about some strength.
I think if I had a bear in my sights and I had one shot to take it down, I think I'm shooting it in the balls. I was just saying, like,
God dang.
I don't know about a headshot. Maybe a headshot would take a bear out.
You gotta stand up.
But I just want to see what happens when I shoot in the balls. I just want to see what happens.
If you're gonna go out,
if I
might as well see what happens.
If I blow your balls off, what happens? Can you not walk?
I don't think.
Back and black. You gonna fall over?
But what if it's a lady bear?
Oh shit!
Right.
Then you're done, son.
It's a female.
It's gonna knock your head off.
Then I'm shooting her between the eyes.
I mean, you gonna
shoot her in the boobs.
Blow your boob off.
Shoot in the titty. Boom.
I mean, you won't know unless you go up there like, hey, but you won't know. I mean, you won't know unless you go up there and say, hey, cough. Okay,
you tell cough.
You gonna see them big ass bear balls hanging. You gonna see them bear balls hanging. If a bear stands up on his hind legs, how big are bears' balls? That's a weird question.
The bear comes at you. It's like, yeah, be like, yo, homie. Just give me 1 second. I gotta see your anatomy for a second.
Be like,
so like if you kick a bear in the balls, does it hurt?
Probably, man.
Right, like if a bear is like muscles, so it's like me.
You probably can't do shit to a bear, man.
Like if a bear stood up on his hind legs, I was like
grizzly bear, like 10 feet tall,
and I just kicked it in the nuts.
There's probably nothing you can do.
Like I know me is gonna curl me off a kick to the balls. I'm gonna be curled up.
But we're talking about
bear kick you in the balls.
It's a fucking
That's not gonna happen. You're not kicking kicking no bear in the
But
balls.
what if you kick a bear in the balls? The bear gonna be affected by that?
Dude,
Yeah,
for real,
did you guys see that old commercial with the dude fighting the bear in the woods?
No, if a bear,
literally?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was a commercial. The dude fighting the bear in the woods, and the dude kicks the bear in the balls.
Yeah, I did see that shit.
Like, and the bear's doing like these boxing moves.
Yeah.
And shit. It's just like,
I don't know.
Like a beef jerky joint or something.
I think it was. Yeah, beef jerky joke. Yeah.
No, we're talking about some weird. We're talking about reality. If you would really stand there in front of a bear who stands 10, 12 feet tall,
Well, you know how scary it would be to fucking stand in front of a bear that's fucking 12 feet tall.
Nobody ain't kicking no bear in no nuts.
So maybe
your only hope is an assault rifle, which goes back into the hunting thing,
or
which kills your point.
Or shotgun.
You get closer.
Or rifle.
But shotgun, you gotta get pretty close.
Here's the thing.
Shit, I seen the
Here's the thing.
A hunter uses one single shot when it comes to hunting.
Colonizers were hunting. Colonizers were hunting bears with regular ass rifles in the 1600s. So that's the thing.
If you're a hunter, if a hunter, you don't waste bullets. You got probably depending on what you're shooting, you got one particular shot.
If you confront the bear,
like I said, it depends.
If you only got
I think the point of that is that you don't want to encounter a bear.
Point taken.
No, you don't want.
Like you don't want to encounter a bear while you're hunting.
I
think you go for deer, birds, rabbits, whatever. But you don't want to encounter docile animals. But you don't want to encounter a bear.
Not them big elk mooses.
They're huge.
And they're freaking huge.
I just before we get off into our miscellaneous topic section, because we're wrapping up towards the end of this cast, we have a miscellaneous section. Me, Juice, and Jay decided that what was the last cast or cast before? We have a miscellaneous section, running gun section.
I got nothing.
Where we just have like random whatever off the wall topics.
I will say
no conclusion to the last incident that happened in Florida is very sad. It happened at Parkland High School, I believe. 17 people dead, 14 injured. Hearts go out to the families, man. I couldn't imagine having that type of incident at my son's school or his brother's school, and we live in Woodbridge, Virginia.
Man.
And at the same time, it's like I couldn't imagine that thing happening. And
location on the internet.
It's crazy, man, because
I don't live in Woodbridge.
None of y'all live in Woodbridge. Hey,
you made it.
None of you live in Woodbridge, all right? None of you. Y'all made it out the hood and shit. I made it, bro.
Well, I made it.
Sell drugs and play basketball. That's your only option.
Oh shit!
I made it out the streets of New York.
It's very sad, man, and
it's terrible. Tragedy.
I had an article that I wanted to
reference.
Was less people. And I'll just throw it out there towards the end of the cast. Why don't school shootings happen more often in quote unquote the hood?
I didn't read.
And I saw this on the source.com. And they were just saying that a majority of kids that go to rural schools are majority white, coming from two-parent homes. They attend large schools with minimal security. In contrast, urban schools are typically majority black or non-white, with multiple school shootings sharing one building. Students come from single-parent homes, or they live with relatives or other parents or other family members. And I think that society has a lot to do with the mental state of these kids coming into these schools, right? So I don't claim to live in the hood. I didn't grow up in the hood. I grew up in the suburbs. If you want to say a rural area, why don't we hear about more school shootings in like a hood in Chicago or St. Louis or
there's too many shootings in
Baltimore?
That's a.
Why do these shootings always happen in a rural area?
One thing, because they expect
a nice, diverse place.
Like LA, Compton, places like that, New York, Bronx, South, they expect that.
The point that this author was making, this is like I said, an article by Corey Copeland on the source.com, dated February 23rd. Mm-hmm. He said that a lot of schools in urban areas have what we were talking about earlier, metal detectors. And they are searched. They're policed. They have deterrents against violence in the school. So would you be a proponent?
I have an easier solution.
Would you be a proponent?
I have an easier solution. How much does an assault rifle cost?
Why do you keep talking about the goddamn assault rifle?
How much does an assault rifle cost?
Juice, stop it. Because it's
generally several thousand.
$7,000?
No, several
$1,000.
You can go buy
an assault rifle.
You can go buy a non-automatic AR-15 at fucking Bud's gun shop for $1,100, and you can convert it to automatic. You can convert non-automatic to automatic.
Oh,
so didn't they have
convertible.
So how many kids in the hood have $1,100 to blow?
Why do you keep focusing on automatic rifles?
Nobody.
There is no less of a tragedy versus one student or two students versus 17.
You have $1,100 to blow in high school?
Juice. There's no less of a tragedy there. If you heard about one student getting killed,
I didn't have $1,100 to blow.
I did.
What?
Bruh.
Damn.
BC did have the Nissan. I mean the neon back in the day. Yo, you was the first whooping that.
And you're assuming that a lot of these kids buy the weapons.
Like,
How do you know? How do you know a lot of these kids buy the weapons? They might get them handed down. They might steal them. True. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean they have to go buy it. And stop focusing on the assault rifle aspect.
Whose parents?
The assault rifle does not matter.
$1,100 to have an assault rifle.
Stop.
Maybe
with
they're
the assault rifle.
About the
Stop
parents.
that.
It's about acquiring the
if
weapon.
You had a single parent, a
weapon
mom,
by any means,
Bruh.
It'll be a handgun.
But we're talking about odds.
Example.
If you had two students,
that's what we're talking about.
17,
we're talking about odds.
It's no less of a tragedy.
How many? All right, here's another question.
The odds are small.
Infinitesimally, like they're different.
But
they're massively different odds between whether or not a person in the hood can obtain an assault rifle. Because
and they still
you have to admit, an assault rifle is the gun that they use for mass school shootings. Now, we're talking about regular shootings in the hood. Yeah, there's shootings in the hood, and most people use handguns. You can get for $300.
So is it less of a tragedy because he used a handgun and shot 2 people versus 17? That's less. It's not as bad. Hey, he only used a handgun. He only shot 2 people. It's not as bad as 17. That worse.
It's bad.
You know,
it's bad, Juice.
Let's
so
agree
stop with the assault rifle shit.
Let's agree
stop that shit, man.
Let's agree that it's terrible. But I'm not stopping the assault rifle shit because it's relevant, right?
It's relevant because that's what this particular guy used. But
it's not
handgun,
just shut the fuck up because it's not just a particular guy.
It is a particular guy. This is the particular topic that we're on.
No, because we're fucking talking about all mass shootings that have happened.
Fine. Okay, mass shootings are done because you have an assault rifle that shoots a mass number of bullets. It doesn't make it any less tragic that somebody died in a high school.
But you mean
it's a fucking school.
I thought Columbine was handguns or shotguns. If I'm not mistaken.
What happened after Columbine? What was
Sandy Hook.
What they use?
Sandy Hook was also.
But Sandy
Hook was not
they just never went off.
Yeah, and Sandy Hook. I'm not sure. I don't think Sandy Hook was automatic weapons either. I think it was shotguns and handguns.
What happened after that one?
After that.
I mean, if you're talking about,
I mean, it's just a matter of time before we go into it. So, what happened after that?
if you look at math,
I'm gonna keep asking that. What happened after?
If you look at the mathematical aspect,
you want to go to Orlando?
The club shooting, yeah,
the club shooting. That was.
I think that was automatic.
That was automatic weapon.
All right, what happened after that?
If you look at mathematically,
what happened after this one?
Oh wait, no. There was another one.
In Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And then there was one in Mexico.
Right, and then there was also another one in a Midwestern state. I forget which one. That was not too long ago either. I think that was also automatic weapon.
So back to what I'm saying, like the whole thing is that assault rifles are the issue. Automatic weapons.
Assault rifles specifically aren't the issue. The issue is people going into schools and killing people. It doesn't matter what type of weapon you use. The fact that
no, it does matter.
No, it doesn't matter because killing is killing, and that's all it is. It's never gonna. That's not gonna
until your kid ends up the 14th and there's 15 shot.
Being personal.
It doesn't matter if your kid was a second. It was your kid.
Of course, I feel something for it. Of course, I feel something for it if it was my child. But those children have families. They have mothers or fathers or both.
Here's the fact, right? Here's the fact. It's a matter of time before it happens in Woodbridge. It's a matter of time before it happens in Alexandria.
Crime can happen anywhere.
No, we're not talking about crime. We're talking about this specific kind of crime.
I'm
saying, it's a matter of time.
Yes.
We're talking about a matter of time. Yes. Like, it's just a matter of time. It will happen eventually.
But crime can happen anywhere. Shootings can happen anywhere. People get killed
everywhere. What's the difference between a robbery and a school shooting?
Ideological difference. Maybe somebody dies in a robbery.
I'm not trying to weigh.
We're talking about a terrorist attack.
I'm not trying to weigh.
It's not just a crime.
That one crime is worse than the other, or one crime deserves less exposure or more exposure than the other. If you kill someone, you kill someone. You kill more people. Yes, it is worse by numbers. But you can't put human life.
What's the difference between What's the difference between a shooting or what's the difference between 6 black people beating up a black person and 6 white people beating up a black person?
The difference is
the black people have been enslaved for 400 fucking years.
The difference is race.
Right. The difference is race. So that becomes what? It becomes a racial issue, right? It becomes a hate crime. Right. That's a significantly different
Not
issue.
Necessarily.
It's a significantly different issue than if they can prove intent. If it's a significantly different issue, it's a significantly different issue between
like, you better kill
a gang between a gang being.
It's gonna be a hate crime.
It's a significantly different issue between a.
You gotta call him a nigga while you fucking up.
It's like you kick like a bitch.
What I'm saying is, it's differences, right? It's not just crime. These are terrorist attacks. These people who are killing these people at the schools, they're not shooting them because it's fun. They're shooting for their reasons.
Their own agenda.
They have their own agendas to do that.
You can take the church.
And they plan them out. They're premeditated.
Yeah, right?
They're never on a whim. They're never because somebody has more money than you. It's always off of a whim. Right? It's never off of a whim. Not always. It's never off of a whim. There's usually off of a premeditated. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But then what we're talking about, if they're premeditated actions, meditated actions, that's the difference, right? Yeah, that's the serious difference. It's not just crime.
Yeah, but you thought about,
and it's just a matter of time for that ideology.
But when you brought
affect somebody in our area,
when you brought about the fact that the black folk beating up a black dude, and the white folk beating up black people beating up one dude. And then, white folks do the same thing. But then the one thing I thought about when you said that, the only reason why probably the assault rifle is being pushed out there the most is only because of the fact that it itself isn't so. It just happens to be a weapon that kills masses. But then like, we're talking about race. The fact that it's not the fact that the beating is a beating period, but the simple fact that it would become a race is because they put more emphasis on the fact that it was more white folks beating up that one black than the black beating up that black.
The reason I brought that up was to point out the differences.
Would it be the
reason I brought that up was to point out the differences between a hate crime and a regular crime, right? That's the reason I brought that up. They're both crimes, but there's a significant exponential differences between a hate crime, which is based on an ideological hatred, versus. So if there's somebody shoots somebody in a club argument, right? Somebody beefs out the club and he shoots him, right? That's different than a person who premeditated an attack on a church or a school. Oh man, we didn't even fucking talk about Charleston.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying before.
Right. So we didn't even talk about that shit. But here's another thing. Like it's a world of difference between those two crimes. Yes, they're both crimes, but they're not equivalent.
They do judge each other based on premeditated. They do that. Premeditated, there is a heavier penalty because of premeditated.
By numbers.
They're not equivalent by numbers mathematically, but they are equivalent in egregiousness and criminality. I pulled up some numbers here. Now let's go by mathematics. A AR-15 has a magazine capacity of 30 rounds, right? And a automatic AR-15 rifle has the ability to fire 45 rounds per minute. So with a good terrorist, like this guy obviously wasn't, he could have killed a lot more people than injuring 31. Or killing 17 and injuring 14, which comes out to 31 people.
How many people did they do to kill Vegas?
If he would have had one clip with an automatic rifle, 30 rounds, and he would have had a second clip with 30 more rounds, he could have killed a lot more people. But he didn't. So I don't think the ability, I don't think that him having an automatic rifle mattered much in him killing these people. If he was going to kill them, he was going to kill them regardless. Automatic, semi-automatic, it did non-automatic, bolt action. He was going to snipe these motherfuckers out. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't understand why you keep focusing on the automatic rifle
because he had the potential and he did kill.
He had the potential to kill more and he didn't.
Saying he can do more damage with the automatic weapon.
And less did in a smaller amount of time.
According to these numbers, he could have killed way more people than 31.
I guess we're lucky he sucks, right? What the fuck?
There you go. So I mean, the automatic rifle part does not matter. It doesn't matter whether it's 2 or 31 or 64 or 80.
So you're okay with them having to people at high school with him having the potential of killed more?
No,
I'm not like him killing anybody.
What are you saying? What are you saying? Because I don't understand your point.
I'm saying
the weapon doesn't matter.
The weapon does not matter. Intent matters.
That's bullshit.
Intent matters. I can have an AR-15. That doesn't mean I'm going to shoot about
the weapon is just an addition to the intent.
If he had a fucking knife, if he had a handgun, he would not have killed as many people.
If I owned the AR-15, you're gonna say, "Damn, D might go shoot up a high school because he got an AR-15."
Maybe.
What?
That's fucked up, Juice. That's fucked up, dog. I don't know you since 4th grade.
Why do you need an AR-15?
Because it's cool and I want one. Why not? If I took you to the range and I say, "Hey, Juice, I got an AR-15 and a handgun we can shoot,"
that's my point earlier, right? That's my point earlier. Yes,
you know how fun it is to shoot a gun.
How it starts, right? And
that's cool. I'm
cool with that shit.
It's stress, but it's fun.
No, it relieves a lot of stress.
It does.
But it's a lot of trust, right? So here's the thing. So yes, it's cool to have a great fucking AR-15, a gun that shoots a whole lot of bullets.
So if I let you shoot that joint, dog, using that joint, you see when you fire a gun at the gun range, you see why people with guns do stupid shit because you feel like fucking Superman with that shit.
Anyway,
like,
so what I'm saying
the
is
first time I fired a gun, I felt like
at what point, right?
God
so
damn,
is there
shit.
something in your life to trigger you?
Of course not. I'm not a fucking psychopath. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. They need to have deeper evaluations.
So what's the level of what breaks a person's
before
psyche?
They allow them to get a gun.
So what's the level of
if I can go to a gun show,
psyche?
If I can go to a gun show and buy a gun without any kind of a background
what
check,
is the level to what can break somebody's psyche? Right? Like this guy Cruz.
That's a societal issue.
His original mom died, I think, and he was he was in the foster home, and he wasn't a happy person.
That happens to people all the time who don't go shoot up high school.
It happens all the time, right? But this guy had an assault rifle.
This particular guy decided to do that.
And he had a particular penchant to be able to do such a thing, right? So what I'm saying is,
he had an assault rifle doesn't matter in that
at what point does a person's psyche break to the point where they can do that? Is there a specific line we know to cross? Is there?
No,
because I would say no. There's not.
There's no way we can tell.
Exactly.
Everyone here, everyone in the world has the potential to kill
do
other
something
people
terrible
with a handgun, automatic weapon, knife, whatever have you.
I see right here. They said that there's a conversion for AR-15 that allows it to hold not 30 but 100 fucking rounds to shoot in AR-15. You can convert your capacity for your AR-15 from 30 rounds to 100 rounds. Okay, so assault rifles don't fucking matter. If he wanted to kill somebody, he would have killed a lot more people. He would have killed a lot more motherfuckers.
Everyone has a penchant to kill.
Right.
The fact that they got an AR-15 and happen to do more people, it's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up. They got more people, but at the same time, they could have done damage with a handgun. Yeah. They could have killed one person, two people, three people. But
each state could have made a
pipe bomb. It doesn't matter until your kid is the 15th out of 15.
Hey, Juice, man, like it matters.
You're acting like I'm not making a fucking valid point. Like these are serious fucking topics. These are people's lives, children who had futures who are dead now.
Yes, I know that, but it comes down to the point. It doesn't matter the weapon. Either way, the weapon
matters.
Period.
The intent to kill is what matters most.
That's it. It comes down to
the intent to kill. The intent to actually take the action through is what matters most.
And we agree that we don't know what is the stressor for each individual.
No, there's no way we can know. There's no way we can know.
If we can't know, why give people access to the worst guns they can get?
But why not give people access to the guns when they don't have those intentions to do the things?
Because we don't know when the person can reach that stressor. That stressor can be a range of things. It could be a car accident. It could be somebody's person. It could be a death in the family. It could be murdered, anything, raped, whatever. Right? So, at what point does that person who has an AR-15 and it was okay to get it then, and it was clean and a happy-go-lucky person, and who just loved to go to gun ranges, right? What happens when that person crosses that line and he has access to that weapon? And we're not saying it's 100% of people. All it takes is 3%.
And do you know that
1% of those people?
It takes one person.
It takes one person to cause another mass tragedy.
Each state has a capacity.
All I'm saying.
That's
the fucking difference.
Each state has a capacity round for legal firearms that you can have. Right? So a state like California has a legal capacity of 10 rounds. So you can have an AR-15 with 10 rounds. Colorado has a legal capacity of 15 rounds for automatic rifles. So one state can have 10, one state can have 15.
4 hours.
Right. We got to start wrapping this up. But I'm just saying that it doesn't matter because if he wanted to convert it, he could have.
I just wanted to say
he could have carried more rounds.
You could say the exact same thing about cars. We talked about cars before, how cars are able to kill.
Most states have 10 rounds, though.
And you were saying something about trust. right? How it was too trusting anyone with an AR-15.
You
right?
trust them to never reach that.
But it's the same thing.
Point.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing when you drive through the street every day. The person in front of you, the person behind you, the person to your left and to your right. You're giving them trust. Right. That they can handle their vehicle in a safe manner so that you and them can get to where they need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
So it's the same. It's not necessarily the same thing with guns, but cars do have the potential to kill a lot of people.
They do.
A lot of people die to car accidents every year.
They get run over.
It's the worst way to travel by far.
Yeah.
Trains, planes.
Way less.
Way less
casualties.
Trains, maybe not so much less, but planes are the safest way to travel.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
different.
So even though that potential is there for cars, it doesn't mean that the person driving the car is going to. What if the person driving the car, the person next to you, decides to just run into you and fucking drive you off of the side of the road?
It goes back to the tool,
It's the same thing. It's the same
thing
that you're talking about.
It's not the same thing. A car is a tool. A car is a tool to get you from point A to point B. That's
how it's
far the
designed.
distance
That's how it's designed, but it's not necessarily how it can be used.
Assault rifle is designed for what else?
The assault rifle. That was my second point.
Mm-hmm.
Guns are made to kill or hunt or harm, right? Animals, but then people use it on other people as well. So if that's the case, limit the guns. Limit the guns. Limit the guns. Raise the check. More psychoanalysis, but don't take guns away from people because the person can't defend themselves.
I'm not saying take guns away. That's never my point, guys. Let me make this point. I think handguns are cool. I think rifles are cool. I think shotguns are cool. Right? It's somewhere in between those things. But I think an assault rifle, a rifle that shoots, is whatever name. What's the minutes shots per minute? Whatever the fuck that
15 rounds.
That's not cool.
It's extreme. I understand
that is the limit.
I understand
that's the limit test. The same reason people don't buy fucking grenades. The reason people can't buy fucking RPGs.
People own them.
People
in a capitalistic society. In a capitalistic society, whatever it takes to make a buck, I can buy.
You can?
You can buy a grenade.
Yes.
Yeah, you can buy a grenade.
They have military surplus stores.
You can buy tanks too, just so you know.
Oh shit! My ring just flew over there.
They have a military. They have military surplus stores where you can buy grenades. You can buy launchers. There's a guy who owns I think it's a private citizen owns a military museum. His own self. He has a compound, like a ranch or some dude in Texas. This motherfucker has guns from every era of war since like 1860, dog. Like, he has a whole display. I mean, just all types of tank-mounted guns and shit like that, and just it's legal to buy in his state, so he bought them. You know,
a gun is
that collection is probably worth millions of dollars.
A gun is a tool. A car is a tool. A knife is a tool. A gun is a tool that can be used. It is a weapon, but it is also still a tool.
Yes.
It can be used.
It's a secondary tool.
Yes, it can be. But it can be used. It can be used
for defense.
Or for unfortunately for
offense.
For death, harming. It is a tool, though. The person up here that is handling that weapon.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that, and this is unfortunate, but it does not mean that every single person who owns a gun
is mentally stable,
is mentally unstable
to hold
that weapon.
I think the trick comes in
that's more of a generalization.
Evaluation of who should own these guns, not just a criminal background check, but a psychoactive background check. What are your mental capacity?
All right, so how?
I know you're gonna go to the point. What happens if it's your child? What happens?
No. My point is like, what happens when that person snaps? He's fine now. He's not fine 10 years ago.
How do you know they're gonna snap?
At work the other day. I didn't go in there with
they can go their whole life. Exactly. They can go their whole life.
Got one,
they can go their whole life without snapping.
I can buy
not everyone is going to snap one day.
You know why? Because I don't have a criminal background.
There's a myriad of issues here, right? So you're saying that it doesn't have to happen, and it's fine. I agree. And it's not going to happen 98% of the time.
Right.
We fucking agree on this.
I know you say it takes
all
one
it takes
person.
is one person.
I know you say it takes one person, and that means that person.
So, but what you guys are saying is that it's okay because for our freedom.
I never said that. I never said that.
The implication is. It's okay because all it takes is one person, but that one person is the sacrifice we're willing to make, and that one person's victims is the sacrifice we're willing to make.
No, never.
We're not.
Are
we not willing to make that sacrifice?
No, I always said that that killing one versus killing 15, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Never.
I mean, how do you make that choice?
You can't justify that.
Life.
You cannot justify that. Human life is human life.
So if you knew one of the two people who got shot, right? Say you knew that person, you grew up with that person, your sister knew that person or somebody, or you say, hey, these two people can get shot, but you know one of them, or you can kill these 15 people over here. How do you choose which ones you're gonna get, which ones are gonna die? There's no equal way to choose. Of course, the two would be better than 15.
That's the trolley problem. You guys know the trolley problem.
There's no way to choose. It's still fucked up.
That's
the trolley problem.
You can't justify that, man.
What would I do?
Don't answer that, Juice. That's fucked up.
Would I do
it, Juice?
I would make it so those 15 people who are gonna kill those other people can't get those guns to do so. That's what I would do.
I'm talking about in the moment.
The thing is, okay, so I think the bigger thing is like
I would take his gun.
As a person, you say personally that's what you would do. Who are you to tell? Who are you to tell if they can have the weapons, if they're mentally unstable? How come they can't go through rehabilitation to possibly get better? And then possibly own a weapon so that they can defend themselves, maybe in a situation.
I am the arbiter of justice. I don't know, man. Fuck. Like,
I'm fully with it because I don't have a criminal background. I don't have any psychoactive things going on that I'm aware of. All right, maybe an evaluation would prove me different, but so I'm on your side. I would say, like, yeah, of course you should limit assault rifles. I just don't think that is the problem.
I just don't think that is the problem. It's just that the tool.
Wait, what? Run it back. What did you say?
That is the problem.
What did you say?
An assault rifle is not the problem with these shootings.
But you think
whether you kill 2 people to 17 does not make any kind of difference. So
it's the fact that these shootings are happening
because he can kill more people.
That's it. The fact that they're happening, period, is the problem.
Yes, but we're not going to stop.
We can all agree on
deaths from happening. We agree with that.
No, there's no way.
We can't.
Just for the sake of wrapping up this cast.
And there's no way to tell.
You know what I mean? This is like the longest cast ever.
We're beating a dead horse.
We've had the most guests or the most participants in the cast that we've ever had, and we've also had the longest cast we've ever had.
How long is that?
4.
Yeah, we almost.
Is that 4 hours?
With 347.
Wow, so 2 hours per topic. Damn,
basically.
Wow.
Good times, guys.
Yeah, it was good times, definitely. I liked it, man. I wouldn't take any of it back. I mean,
hell yeah,
it's a valid point.
Wakanda to you, my brother.
Wakanda. So, I guess in conclusion, man, any other points anybody want to make except for Juice is wrong?
Well, I was.
All right, take a drink. Hey, look, we both ain't sipped this Jones since, though, all right? Yeah.
Arbiter of justice.
You know what I find is funny? We've sat here and drank what? 2 bottles of wine, a bottle and a half, maybe 2.
Half, man.
Jay and Frank ain't took a sip of wine all day, and they still just conversative and everything. It's like, how do y'all do it, man? How do y'all conversate just sober?
I'm furious. I operate off of passion and anger.
I'm furious. Infused by wine.
Infused by vibranium wine.
Yeah. So y'all said you had like a miscellaneous topic. Yo, I was just gonna say like, yo, how come we don't give a shout out to chicken? Like, I love chicken. You know, chicken is like. I love chicken, man. It's like it nourishes me.
It's like Dave Chappelle said, who the fuck doesn't like chicken? I'm tired of the stereotype. Who doesn't like chicken?
It's like how come at the Oscars, how come at the Oscars or at the Grammys they like shout out God, they shout out their family. How about shouting out food?
Yeah, I just want to thank chicken for holding me down all the time I was hungry.
Chicken.
Yeah, chicken.
Shout out to chicken.
Dude, you know what I would do to a bucket of KFC right now? You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Like yo, shout out to Beats.
Beats are gross, huh?
Shout out to Brussels.
That's why it's funny. Shout out to Brussels sprouts.
Another miscellaneous topic.
Like salmon.
Another miscellaneous topic though was Elon Musk and his Starman. There's a Tesla going around.
How much is Elon Musk?
Could we talk about that shit?
Like, yo,
he launched a Tesla into space.
Yes.
It is zooming around space, and it missed its target.
Just because?
Just because
he could do it.
And wait, he was aiming for what?
No, and then there's an astronaut dummy chilling in the car.
I thought that was a joke.
No, it was legit. And then they had the song "Fly Me to the Moon" playing.
Oh,
like, how badass is that?
Man,
we still need to have this Anunnaki cast.
The target? Like it was supposed to be going to like Mars or like something.
If it was going to Mars, it hasn't gotten there yet.
Yeah, they ain't gonna get there no time.
Well, but the trajectory is off.
Oh, really?
So they missed.
I mean, it's still
so that car will be zooming into space for eternity.
So he just driving.
That's still chill though.
That's cool as fuck.
But no, I mean, I feel bad for the dummy because he ain't got no pit stop, no nothing.
How much is Elon Musk fucking worth? Why I keep hearing this guy's name, Elon Musk?
He's worth like some billion.
Yeah.
I heard Joe Rogan was talking about this shit. You saying that because Elon Musk is smart, that they'll just let him do whatever the fuck he wants because he's talking about building a fucking fast zipping subway tunnel underneath California. But if a regular person brought that fucking idea,
like you stupid,
they're like,
we got earthquakes and all types of shit over here.
But because he's Elon Musk. Because earthquakes and shit, but because it's Elon Musk,
they entertain it and shit.
Hey,
do it! Great idea, Elon.
So eccentric.
Sure. What an eccentric fellow.
So innovative. You're spending your money? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool.
That's how this country is, man. You ain't got no kind of, if you just a regular average Joe like us or something like that, they ain't gonna listen to you.
Money talks.
That's why. You see, that's why Black Panther is so important.
Wakanda forever.
We give ourselves a chance.
Although I thought it was kind of cheesy how they was all sitting there with the shoulder bob. I was like,
I like it because it's all
unified.
Yeah, but the one guy wasn't even trying. He was just like, oh, shit, what is this takeover?
I loved all of it. I was just like, yes, like ceremony.
Exactly.
Princess.
Yeah, it was cool. So I guess, fellas, that
we talk about wait. All right, never mind.
Go ahead. Hey, we might as well, dog. We're already at 4 hours and 45 minutes.
Committed to 4 hours.
Let's make it an even 2.
Y'all remember seeing the link about the Crisis actor?
Crisis.
Crisis actor.
I heard about that.
This guy who was somebody made a video of this guy who was at he was part of the shooting, or not part of the shooting, but he was a survivor of the shooting, and how he had did some news in Florida. And how he did these news interviews, and how they had him from another news interview
in like California,
right?
Yeah,
and they said
the same actor,
the same actor, right?
Crisis actors.
So
which I totally buy into because I think that there's an agenda here, man. Like there's something going on to the point where they want to push some kind of legislation or some law through. I mean, why don't school shootings happen in the hood? You would think that'd be the number one spot where school shootings would happen, right?
So the thing is, that was all debunked
outside of school.
The thing is, it was all debunked.
The thing is,
right?
why would that be the number one spot statistically? Look at who's doing all the shooting.
Right.
So here's the thing.
I don't know. I just think it's deeper than just
the whole Crisis actor thing was all debunked. Like it turns out that the guy, the original video they shot that was supposed to be in California was actually in Florida, and they took that footage and they put the the California news company over the Florida logo that they had, and then they put that shit up, and they was trying to say, "Ooh, this guy's a crisis actor. He's not real." But yeah, and there was like, "Oh, he's a son of an FBI agent." Well, so the guy is the son of a retired FBI guy, right? So everybody was like, "Ooh,
what
conspiracy and shit?" Yeah,
but the guy's like, "Yeah, my dad's a retired FBI agent."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll just throw that joint out there because at first when I looked at it, I was looking at it shit hard as shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how is this guy? What do you mean a crisis actor? He's a crisis actor. Oh shit, this is not real. Whatever. So I started to think Alex Jones. I was going that way. And then I did some more looking, and over time, a couple of days, I saw more and more just like, oh well, this is the real. This is from this show.
You satanic pedophilia worshiping.
Satanic pedophilia.
Pedophilia.
So yeah, it was just crazy that people are still creating, or not even that people are still, because they're doing that, but people are creating these things to debunk this kind of, or to throw off the narrative, right?
Yep.
And I find it fascinating that this is
the media.
This is what's happened. You know what I'm saying? Like people are throwing off the narrative, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's just fucked up.
This nigga see sip the wine and cough. I was like,
that wasn't funny. My bad. Went down my foot.
I was like, what the hell? That nigga sip is like. What happened?
Oh shit!
Oh man!
All right, but yeah, this is crazy, man. Like people always trying to.
It is wild, man. You know what? There's really no right or wrong answer.
And
man.
I saw this article, so I didn't read it, but I just read the intro. YouTube reprimands InfoWars for promoting Florida school shooting conspiracy theory. I'm talking about that video. Like this,
YouTube reprimands InfoWars?
Yeah, YouTube did it.
Who the fuck gives a fuck about YouTube? YouTube
because
is
that's
regulated.
What the show is on?
Yeah, but that's regulated.
That's
like
YouTube
is no moral authority on anything. Like, what does YouTube know versus?
That's the tricky part because there's another part where saying YouTube is starting to crack down. Like you heard about the
have you ever noticed
program?
that YouTube is more refined and like? Do y'all go on YouTube a lot?
Yeah,
like
all
they
the time.
don't diversify your.
You see, I see a lot more CNN and a lot more shit like that.
I
on
feel
my
like my
feed.
shit is not diverse on my feed
I'm like,
a lot.
What the fuck is this shit?
He said, "Yeah, thank you." I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on? Why they keep showing me these videos?"
I just click. I would not like to see this again.
Yeah,
right. Maybe I should start doing that. I'm like, why do they keep showing me this shit?
So, channel I follow, Secular Talk. Like they were talking about how like they in the Dave Pacman show. So they were talking about how like YouTube was like defunding and like they put them on. They blacklisted a lot of channels. People had like mass followings, but weren't necessarily conforming to the official narrative.
Yeah,
I heard that blacklisting has a lot to do with the funding. Like a lot of people are trying to make careers off monetizing YouTube. Whereas if you just doing something for the love of doing it, you know, maybe they're trying to refine who's making money off of YouTube. Let's redirect this money to these random people, from these random people to the people who own this motherfucker. Like Google.
I'll be watching TYT.
Like that, you know? Yeah, right. And like TYT, like Jank probably got rich as hell off of YouTube. I mean, it's making money hands over fist. Like
Google, you got the company running.
And it's actually a like being a YouTuber. Like if you have a certain amount of subscribers, it's actually like a job.
Yeah,
it's a
making money.
Job, you know?
What's the gamer guy who has so many subscribers?
Yeah.
He averages like 4 million.
Mad money, man.
But they started defunding a lot of these channels, man, and they started like redirecting, like on your sidebar, the recommended stuff. They put a lot more official narrative,
right? Yeah, and I'm like, I don't like that.
So I'm like, are they going to do this with Alex Jones? Like, I think they already did it with Alex Jones because he crazy as fuck. But I imagine they might be doing it more. Maybe that's what this whole reprimand is.
I like my.
And also, I heard that if you curse in your video or something, they'll like try to like remove ads from it. Or some shit.
Well, yeah, nobody wants to advertise on the channel where you got cursing and pussy talk and all that shit. Hey, as far as the Telling Idea Talkers podcast channel, we're done. We've been done since episode 1.
I curse like a lot.
especially after the 4th glass of wine.
Wow, motherfucker.
Like, is an actual vagina talking?
All right.
Like, what?
All right, fellas. So we gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're at about 5.5 hours of podcast time now.
Oh my god.
So
the longest cast ever.
We're gonna wrap it up. Episode 33 of Telling Idea Talkers podcast. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
Happy Black History Month.
Go see Black Panther.
Go see Black Panther.
Do you think it's a coincidence that Black Panther came out the same month as Black History Month?
Yeah.
Why we couldn't get a summertime blockbuster?
That's not a coincidence. They planned
you know what I mean? This shit could have came out in July.
The best part,
I would have went to see it still.
You know what? It shows.
The best part is it didn't matter.
Shows, right? It shows exactly.
Do you think it's a little bit too on the nose that it came out during Black History Month?
No, they did it on
my
purpose.
question.
They did it on purpose.
Yeah.
They wanted it. It's completely on the nose.
It could have been a summer blockbuster.
It could have been a summer blockbuster, but I mean,
it's more significant.
Yeah.
When's Civil War coming out? I know they had to show this before because Black Panther comes out, but Civil War.
Man,
Civil War came out 2 years ago.
Infinity War in May.
No, that's what I'm going to say. Infinity War.
I cannot fucking wait for that movie. It's 10 years of fucking going to see movies.
May 3rd. Yeah.
You know how much money I've invested into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Okay, about going to see these goddamn movies.
I've seen every single one of those.
Every single one.
Is
there a Marvel movie I haven't seen?
I didn't see Ant-Man in the theater.
Not in the theater, nah.
But I was late on that joke because that shit was a great ass movie.
It was a really good movie.
Yeah, it was a great movie, but I didn't care at first.
Yeah.
I was like,
I didn't care so much because it came out after Age of Ultron, but I was really impressed.
Yeah,
but I'll probably go see Ant-Man and Wasp.
That was funny as
shit.
shit.
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, yep. Well, definitely, Black Panther's a great movie. Go see it, people. Support. You know,
Black women stay natural.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it on Fire Stick. Just go to the movies.
Yay!
Buy the DVD twice.
And once again,
Blu-ray
Wakanda
forever.
Wakanda forever. Yeah. All right. So for episode 33, once again, I'm your host D.
This is Juice.
Your boy Jay.
This is Frank.
That's your boy C Blade.
Mumblaze. I guess we're gonna wrap that up. Thanks for joining us. Catch y'all next time.
Country boy.
Peace.
Biscuits.
Say country boy. Biscuits.
Longest.